Hey, what's up? Today we're learning Edge Sound Pedalboard, an app that uses algorithmic effects, non-profiles, and IR cabinets. As you'll see, the app is really simple, but it's also very powerful. You can build tons of combinations. The first thing I want to show you is how to connect the pedal board to your audio interface. It's dead easy. You go up here to the More button, click it, Audio Settings, and here you'll see the inputs, in this case the outputs, and the inputs from my audio interface. To activate your interface, if it doesn't show up, go to Control Panel, hit refresh on this button here, then switch it on in case. Your audio interface isn't already active, and right away, in just a few seconds, you'll see the mics and outputs you have available here in the output and the input. In my case, it's the first one because I'm running a mono input setup with an external output. That's it, you're configured. Now, for the sample rate and the audio buffer, I use these settings and they work great for me. You can push it further, of course, at the cost of latency, and that cost depends on your hardware. But at this sample rate, it already sounds pretty good. All right, as you can see, I've got an effect active, and I'm here with my custom AliExpress guitar. It's one of those you build yourself. It's had a few mods of mine, and I really love it. Anyway, let's get to it. Learning to use an effect, or rather to create one. To build the effect, we'll start from the ground up. Let's make a new one. We click Save as New, and it'll put in, well, the name is already selected. But for example, we can create a new effect and call it, say, acoustic. Actually better, acoustic guitar, number 1, whatever. Acoustic. We'll add a hashtag so it's easier to find in the search bar. Hit save, and there it is. And here we can easily clear the effect it copied over. So this way we can resave if we already had something built. So we just select the box, the effect, hit delete, and we'll leave it empty. That's how it sounds with no effects at all. And it's super simple, because up here we click plus, the plus icon, and we look for a sound. We want acoustic guitar tone, so we'll start with a preamp. In this case, the simplest and most direct one for acoustic guitar is the acoustic preamp, which is an algorithmic preamp simulator. You can hear the tone there. For example, I'll switch amps so you can really hear the difference. That's a different one. It's not the acoustic, just to show the contrast. Now I'll add the acoustic, it's right here. Acoustic. I'm on the bridge pickup. I'll switch to the front one, the neck, and the middle. One, something people use a lot is a compressor to squeeze the signal. That's the classic. Guitar player setup. Go to Dynamics, and we can add a regular compressor. You'll notice this electrical sound, this static. So to get rid of that,
este sonido eléctrico, esta estática. Entonces, para eliminar eso,
We go to noise and the classic noise gate, the most used one. Where I'll pull it, I'm messed up.
lo quitó, me he equivocado.
I'm messed up. Hang on a second. Oh no, it's fine, it's fine. That was my mistake.
Ah, no, sí, está bien, yo me equivoqué.
It has to do with the computer you're hearing it on. I'll move the guitar away a bit.
Es el computador el que se escucha. Entonces, voy a alejar un poquito la guitarra.
And if I touch the metal parts, that electrical noise goes away.
Se va
Now I'll add the
ese ruido eléctrico. Entonces ahora voy a agregar
noise gate, and I don't know if you can hear it, but it's gone. That sound disappeared. Let me
digamos,
disable it. Here it's not that noticeable, but when you use gain, distortion, or overdrive, you really hear it.
Un overdrive sí se percibe bastante.
Alright, there we go with the noise gate. Now, next up we can go for a cabinet, a speaker type, to give it a more
Con
realistic
el
sound.
noise gate, bueno, ahora a continuación podemos ir con un gabinete, un tipo de parlantes para darle un sonido más real.
We'll use an algorithmic
Utilizar un
cabinet.
gabinete de tipo-
There's the cabinet.
de
Let's
tipo
go into the
algorithmic.
settings,
Ahí está el gabinete. Vamos a ir a la configuración,
which is
que
the
el
inspector,
inspector.
and here we can
Acá
set up
podemos configurar
mics and different
micrófonos
speaker
y
types.
tipos de parlantes.
For
Nosotros
example,
queremos un
let's say we want a
vintage.
vintage double. Usually when you add the cabinet,
Por lo general, cuando se agrega el gabinete,
the
se
volume
baja
drops a
un poquito
bit.
el volumen.
Okay,
Bueno,
here we
acá
go.
vamos
Nice, we've got the cabinet.
a jugar
We can
con los
also
micrófonos. Bien, tenemos el gabinete. También
name
podemos
it.
nombrarlo. Le
I'll
podemos
call it
poner
acoustic cabinet. I'm not sure we have an acoustic cabinet.
acústico. No sé si tenemos un gabinete acústico.
I don't think so. You'll see the name changes here. The inspector is
Podrán ver que
basically
acá cambia el
the
nombre. El inspector que es la pantalla
properties
del propietario, la
panel.
podemos ver con el
We pull it
inspector.
up with
Y
inspector.
para reordenar
And to
estos,
reorder these effect
cadenas de
chains,
efectos,
we've got this
tenemos,
snake-like thing
digamos,
that reorders them based on
algo que
the
es de este tipo como serpenteante, que lo va reordenando según el
space
tamaño
available in the
disponible en el
layout, or we can stretch it out
Perdón.
lengthwise.
O lo podemos utilizar a la extensión a lo largo. Vamos
So it looks the way you like.
un sonido más-
From here, it's up to you. Usually people
posteriormente acá es a gusto. Por lo general se suele
put some kind of
utilizar un
EQ
tipo de-
after the cabinets.
de-
For example, we can go to
de ecualizador después de los gabinetes. Por ejemplo, podemos ir a
Filters.
filter.
No, where is it? Where is it? Here we've got several types of EQ.
Y acá
Let's
tenemos
use this one.
varios tipos de ecualizadores. Vamos a utilizar este.
Open the
Vamos al
inspector, the graphic one,
Le vamos a dar algo de brillo.
and pull it down a bit so the sound
No sea
isn't
tan-
so
tan
boomy.
retumbante el sonido.
Right after the
Y
EQ,
después del
let's
ecualizador
add the
vamos a
classic
agregar,
thing-ud.
Lo típico. Que se
Use in
utiliza
time
en
a
timing.
delay.
O sea,
As you can
un delay.
see, there are tons of.
A ver, vamos a utilizar. Bueno, como podrán ver, tenemos muchos
parameters.
que podríamos estar
You could play with this all
todo el día con
day.
esto.
And now
Y
let's
enseguida vamos
open it up a
agregar
little more with a
un poquito más de
reverb.
abertura
From
y
here
con
on,
un-
what you?
con un reverb. El- esto. De aquí en adelante, bueno, lo que
Can
se puede hacer
do
es
is
guardar,
save or
actualizar
update
en
in
este
this
caso.
case. And then
Y
it's
acá es
all imagination.
imaginación.
We can add lots of
Podemos
stuff.
agregar muchas cosas.
For example,
Por
we
ejemplo,
could add a
podríamos agregar una
modulation
modulación,
or a
un
pitch. I'll go after the compressor.
Después
We've
del
got the
compresor, bueno, tenemos los
drives, the tones, and we head to modulation, the chorus. That's something I hadn't added yet, a chorus, and I'm going to use it after the cabinet.
Después del gabinete.
I'll bring in the chorus modulation. That's the classic chorus sound. We've also got a flanger. Next, I'm going to add a modulation, maybe a, well, we got another kind of flanger here, which is also under modulation, the wah-wahs. But let's add a pitch. A harmonizer, for example. As you can see, you get different scales.
Vamos a subir el volumen. Acá, como podrán ver, tienen distintas escalas.
G, for instance,
Un sol.
if I switch to C,
Y si me voy a do,
one detail I hadn't mentioned, down in the bottom left corner.
y un detalle que no había mencionado, bueno, acá abajo en el ángulo inferior izquierdo
We got the
tenemos el
CPU
uso de la CPU. En este
usage.
caso está
Right now it's
en
around
promedio
3,
tres,
between
entre
3 and
3 y
5,
5,
and
y la
latency
latencia está
is
en
at
cero.
0. The
El
algorithms
algoritmo
this
que
software
utiliza
uses
software
to
para
emulate the
emular el
sounds
sonido es muy
are
eficiente.
super efficient. So
Por lo
they
tanto,
optimize
utiliza los
resources,
recursos y
and you get a
van
sound
tener
with
un sonido
practically
casi
zero
prácticamente
latency
sin
and really
latencia y con un buen
low CPU
con
use.
un uso de
All right,
procesador
wrapping
mínimo.
this patch up, what we've got here is
Bueno, cerrando un poquito este efecto, acá tenemos
mainly algorithmic
principalmente
effects.
efectos algorítmicos.
We haven't
Hemos
used
utilizado los
NAM,
NAM,
the neural sims,
los
or the
neural-
IRs.
Simuladores, ni los IR.
Only algorithmic
solamente
simulation.
hemos estado
So next we're going to do
simulación
one
algorítmica.
with
Entonces a continuación vamos a ver uno con
algorithmic,
simulación
sorry,
algorítmica,
with
perdón,
neural
con-
simulator,
con
and we'll build a
Neural
distortion.
Simulator. Y vamos a construir una distorsión.
A classic
una
distortion.
clásica distorsión.
So first let's
Entonces,
save the
para eso
one we
vamos
just
a
created.
guardar el que acabamos de crear.
Then I'll hit save
Luego
new,
voy a poner
name it
save
distortion, guitar,
Voy a poner,
distortion 1, save it,
new,
and
distortion, guitarra, distorsión 1, por si acaso. Lo vamos a guardar. Y ya
we're left with
quedamos
our
con
template,
nuestro,
the one we
eh,
built
plantilla.
before. So let's clear it out with
Anteriormente, así que la vamos a limpiar con
delete.
suprimir.
And notice the sound's still there, but if I mute the strings, it's gone.
Pero si toco las cuerdas se desaparece.
Like I told you at the start, so you don't think I'm making stuff up. We're on a clean sound. I'll turn the volume down a bit, because when you Work with distortion, it tends to get really loud. Volume down a bit. Now let's go for our killer distortion patch. Let's build it. This is my first video, guys, so don't freak out. I'm making my first videos on how to use this pedal board, so bear with me. Okay, I think we can start with a preamp. Some guys like to start with a distortion, but just to keep this flowing, let's look for a preamp sound, but not algorithmic, a nom, noms, in case you haven't heard, are captures you make your own amp. You could do it too. There's lots of software for it. You sample your amp, capture it, and those tones somehow get uploaded into an app. Then, when you play, your signal runs through a neural network, the sound you're playing, and that network applies those tones to your signal. So it ends up sounding really close to the real thing. All right, let's try here. I'm looking around. The NAM ones say NAM, so let's go straight for an amp. Most amps already include a preamp, which is that classic sound. So let's... Okay, we've got two. Full amp types with the cab, with the head, everything included in. The amp capture, and we've got one that's just the amp. Let's start with that one, this NAM. Here's the sound. The amp sound, I'd say. Let me play a little. It sounds brighter, right? Because there's no cab, no speakers. It's like plugging your headphones straight in and hearing the amp. So here we're gonna look for an amp. Any one, I got nothing planned. Could be a PV. This PV already has plenty of distortion, so we'll pull it down a bit. It's got a lot of gain in it, so let's play around a little, adding a bit of thickness and sustain to the sound with a distortion or another effect. I'll turn it down here so it's not too loud. So, to start making this sound more or less like a real amp. A lot of cabinet too. A lot of NEM style cabinet. Maybe this one. Let's look here. Okay, we got a Mesa style amp. Let's hear it. Alright, we'll take that one. Hear that? That's the sound of the game. So now wheel.
Ya, vamos a tomar ese. Escuchan ese sonido, ese es el sonido de la ganancia. Entonces vamos a
add a noise reduction. You notice it more here. They're totally different. Let me do it again. By the way, I'm not on a mic, I'm on the computer mic. I'm not going direct. Out of the amp, let's say, so some changes might not come through. That was the volume, so you hear it there. Now I'll add the noise reduction, the noise gate. Done. That sounds pretty harsh. Let me tune the guitar a bit. I'll show you the tuner.
Tiene un sonido bastante duro. Voy a afinar la guitarra un poquito, voy a mostrar el
Before we keep going, and you can see it up in the top right
Lo
corner.
pueden ver arriba en el ángulo superior derecho.
This tuner has several tuning types, so you can play with that and grab tunings.
Esta también tiene varios tipos de afinaciones, entonces pueden jugar con eso para tomar afinaciones
and
de
drop or
rock,
whatever.
con- y
And
acá
down
bajamos
here
las
you see the
notas, por
notes. Look, it lights up.
ejemplo. Ahí se ilumina
As you
y
tune.
van
And we got a
y
metronome.
tenemos un metrónomo.
Lots of little things to play with. Okay, back to our sound. We've got the
Tenemos varias cositas para jugar. Bueno, continuamos con nuestro efecto. Tenemos en la
noise
versión
reduction,
de ruido,
a PV
tenemos
style
un
amp, a
amplificador
5150,
tipo
and a Mesa 4
150,
by 12 cab.
y un mesa de 4x12 de gabinete.
This is our sound.
Vamos con este
I'll add a
sonido.
bit of thickness with a distortion.
Le voy a agregar un poquito de pastosidad con una distorsión.
Here we'll do a
La
combination.
distorsión-
We'll add something
vamos a hacer una
algorithmic.
combinación.
I'm going to drive.
Vamos a agregar algo algorítmico. Me voy a ir a Drive. A ver.
Distortions, no.
No,
I
ya
added
me
an
equivoqué.
AM. Let me take that off. I'll add a drive distortion.
Drive, un distortion.
This one, we've got
Varios
several
distortion,
distortions. Let's find a modern
Voy a
one.
agregar un moderno.
With distortion, without distortion.
Con distorsión. Sin distorsión.
I dropped the drive a bit so the sound isn't too blown out. Now let's give it A.
Le bajé un poquito el drive para que no esté tan reventado el sonido. Y ahora vamos a darle un
Little bit
poquito
of,
de-
what's this called?
de-
The name always escapes
¿Cómo se
me.
llama esto
The
de-
equalizer, I always forget the...
se me va el nombre siempre del ecualizador. Siempre se me va el
Name,
ecualizador.
the EQ, the
Tono,
tone.
tones.
We're got a graphic
Ecualizador
EQ,
gráfico,
same as
lo mismo que
before,
antes,
but we got
pero
several
tenemos varios
types. We got really nice
Vamos a ver.
sound. Let's take a little of this
Vamos a
out,
quitar esto.
and let's bring this up a
Un
bit.
poquito por acá. A ver.
Let's drop the distortion a little.
Ok. Vamos a bajar un poquito la distorsión. Perdón, me equivoqué.
This amp comes
Bueno,
with
creo que viene con
a whole lot of
harto-
gain.
Con harto ganancia.
We could probably swap it
Lo
out.
podemos cambiar. Suena-
And there you
Como
go,
un sonido
a
de
classic
distorsión
distortion
típico.
tone. Next we'll add a bit of
Y
chorus.
lo otro que vamos a
We'll put it
agregar
after the
es
cab. Some people put before, others after.
de chorus. Lo vamos a agregar después del gabinete. Algunos lo agregan antes, otros después.
I'll put it
Voy a
before.
agregarlo antes.
Let's add a phaser.
Voy a agregar un phaser.
Actually, I'll add it after.
Voy a agregar después.
And that's what this is
Eso
for,
sirve esto.
so you can easily move effects around.
Más fácil para ir intercambiando los efectos.
I'll add it after the
Voy a agregar
cab.
después
Let's
del-
go to the
del
options
gabinete.
and drop in a
Vamos a ir
phaser.
a, modulación. Voy a dar un phaser.
After the phaser, I'll add a bit of delay, just barely audible.
del fase le voy a agregar un poquito de delay, un poquito, que no se escuche mucho.
And then the classic reverb. Okay, so as you can see, that's a distortion. You can.
Ok, como pueden ver, esa es una distorsión. Se puede
Play with
jugar
this a ton.
muchísimo. Ustedes pueden
Combine
combinar todo lo
whatever
que
you
quieran,
want.
hacer-
You can also
También pueden
run
tirar
effects
efectos
in parallel, add another one here,
Agregar acá
an
otro,
acoustic sim, for
por
example.
ejemplo, voy a agregar un
Tons.
Pueden jugar
To play with.
muchísimo.
And to wrap
Y
the
algo
video
para
up,
finalizar
so I
el
don't
video,
drag on and
ya para
bore
no alargarme
you.
tanto y no aburrirlos.
Sorry, the video wasn't planned, so I put it together
El video
pretty
no está preparado,
improvised.
entonces lo armé así bien improvisado.
Let's save the
Vamos a
one we
guardar esto que
built
hicimos,
as guitar
la
take.
punta en guitarra.
And
Y
now,
vamos
let's
a
make an
hacer
effect with artificial
un efecto
intelligence.
con inteligencia artificial.
Here I've got a
Tengo
profile of
File,
my
que es
guitar.
mi
Solid
guitarra, que es de
body,
cuerpo
humbucker
sólido, una
pickups.
humbucker de cápsulas.
For monitoring, I'm on
Una
headphones,
visualización, tengo
and
un
this is
audífono,
my amp.
y este es mi amplificador.
So let's do something.
Entonces, para
A classic
voy a
tone.
hacer
I can't think of a good
algo-
one.
El típico sonido, no se me ocurre cuál muy bien.
Right
en este
now,
momento, puede
maybe
ser
something
algo que sea
recognizable.
reconocible.
Let's see. I'm thinking maybe
Se me
the,
ocurre
I don't
que
know,
podría
the
ser
classic Steve Vai tone.
no sé, el típico tono de Steve Vai.
For example, on the song For the Love of
la
God.
canción, en el tema, mejor en el tema de For the Love of God.
It's that
Como el
classic
típico sonido
sound,
como con-
really spacey.
bien espacial.
So let's
Entonces,
generate it.
generarlo.
Over
Abajo
here,
acá yo
I already
tengo,
added my private
agregué
token.
mi token privado.
Let's say my private OpenAI.
De OpenAI privado.
You have to sign up
Ustedes tienen
and
que
create one
suscribirse
and
y
add it
crear
here
uno
on
y
this
Lo agregan acá, ahí, en esta
screen.
pantalla.
You can add
Tienen para
Anthropic,
agregar de
or for
Anthropic,
example, if you got
por ejemplo,
Alma
si tienen un o Llama
installed on your
instalado en su
computer,
computador,
you
en
can
otro
set
lado,
that up
pueden,
too. As you can
configurarlo
see,
también. Como pueden ver
here you can
acá,
add Alma
se puede
and
agregar
use
endpoint
AI, so
y
you don't
utilizar inteligencia artificial. Así
have to
tienen que
pay
pagar
for
todo eso.
any of that.
Bueno, acá vamos a
All
probar
right, let's test it. That's the sound from
Ese es el sonido que
before,
estaba
the
antes.
distortion we made.
La distorsión
Now
que
let's
creamos, ahora vamos a
try the
probar
Steve I
el
one.
Steve Vai.
Let's try the other suggestions it gave us. Way too loud.
Vamos a probar la otra sugerencia que nos dio. A ver. Se suena como muy fuerte.
Let's turn it down a bit.
Vamos a bajarlo un poquito porque está como...
I didn't love that one. I'll take the first one and check out what it built. It made a noise gate, the classic one you use. With distortion, for the pedal it used an Ibanez tube screamer, an equalizer, as you can. See, it cuts some frequencies. Those get added, and you can add them in the EQ.
Las puede agregar en el ecualizador.
For the preamp, it used a Mesa Boogie, super typical for these tones. For speakers, the cab, it used an England 4x12, the EQ, a tape delay, and a plate reverb. With that, just like that, it built the effect. Folks, hope you liked it. Download the app.
Eso es todo, estimados. Espero que les haya gustado. Descarguen la aplicación.
Play around.
Envíenme
Leave me a
comentarios,
comment.
cualquier
Whatever you
cosita
need,
para
I'm here for your questions.
sus
So,
consultas. Así que
that's it.
eso.
Bye.
Chaito.